Irresistible You training. Report, how to be engaging, charming, charismatic and persuasive. How are you in a group setting? How confident are you at talking in a group? When you meet new people, do you feel anxious or do you revel at the chance to dive straight in? Most of us would say that we still feel at least a little anxiety in a lot of social situations, especially those that require us to interact with lots of people we don't know, or where there is some kind of pressure to perform well. And those people that don't feel any anxiety might be more worrying still. It suggests that you might not truly be thinking about the situation or how you can optimize the way you're acting and maximize your opportunities. And there are so many situations in life where being able to mix into a crowd and make the best possible impression is crucial. Being more likable, charismatic and charming is crucial if you are at a networking event, or if you're given the opportunity to work with a new company. It's crucial when you're going for a job that you really want, and it's crucial when you're trying to pick people up in bars. Trust me when I tell you that there are people for whom this comes easy, and those people tend to have amazing opportunities handed to them on a plate. If you're someone who is instantly impressive and who can demonstrate their skills and their confidence in any setting, then you'll find people instantly taking chances on you and giving you opportunities you won't believe. The good news, this can all be learned. In this post then, we're going to look at some things you can do to start becoming more confident and likable, and to demonstrate your very best side. The result will be that you're more instantly impressive and attractive, which will help you in every aspect of your life. The basics. I mentioned that there are people out there to whom this comes naturally. Perhaps you know someone. I personally have a friend who I've known since university and who was just as goofy as me during those years. That's to say that he spent a whole ton of evenings watching YouTube, wasn't particularly cool in the traditional sense and wasn't exactly thriving on his course. Suffice to say, he was just a regular guy. But despite not being anywhere near the top of his class, he got the placement job that everyone on his course wanted. This was simply due to how well he interviewed. When he left uni, he went to work with Simon Cowell, but shortly after decided he wasn't interested in that career anymore, so he chose a completely different path, and in months he had changed career and is now on a six-figure salary. He took a year-long sabbatical recently and his work were happy to pay him while he was away. He's always being given development opportunities, women love him, and he recently got offered a spot on a massive YouTube channel. So why does all this great stuff happen to him? Simple, he's highly charismatic and charming and attractive in the magnetic sense. He just has that X factor, and this means that people want to work with him, despite the fact that if you knew him at uni, you'd know he was actually just a regular guy. So where does something like this come from? Well, it actually comes down to our evolutionary history. Our evolution dictated the development of our hormones and emotions, which in turn serve one basic directive: ensure our survival and ensure the survival of our offspring. That's why we're driven to find food, it's why we look for mates that seem to offer good genetic material, and it's why we like people who have resources. Something very similar plays out when it comes to deciding who you want to associate with. Often, we choose people to associate with because we think they can help us to survive. Someone very confident will appear to have a higher social status, even if that is not true, and so spending time with them might help us to elevate our own social status. Someone who seems to know what they're doing might be able to help us with access to foods or potential mates. This is a big part of why we gravitate toward some people and not others. They are sending a signal that they are highly capable and that they are a good genetic pick. The game for life. This is a concept that pickup artists realized some time ago. They realized that women don't like men who dote on them or who pay them compliments all day because they don't offer any challenge. If your infatuated friend who has been friendzoned and you spend a lot of time comforting her and telling her she's beautiful, then guess what? You're going to look needy and desperate, and unconsciously this says to her that you think she is out of your league, and if she's out of your league, then what would you have to offer her or her DNA? Meanwhile, the jerks are more aloof and indifferent, which makes them appeal more desirable. It's the simple logic that you want what you can't have, but with some added evolutionary incentive. So pickup artists use this negging technique among others in order to subtly undermine a woman's confidence and thereby make themselves look like a catch. Another technique is peacocking, where they will wear something stupid to a bar that's loud and colorful, and the hope is that women will think he must be very confident or very successful, otherwise how would he be so bald as to wear something so stupid? But yes, these techniques are indeed cynical and they are indeed goofy, and the good news is that you don't have to be an ass to get the girl. Likewise, the idea that girls need to turn themselves into Barbies to be attractive is similarly mistaken, as is the idea that you need to be cutthroat in order to get ahead in business. Making an incredible first impression. All these nice guys that are blaming their niceness on not having a girl are likely missing the point that they could be nice and fun and confident. It is likely not their niceness at all that is the problem. Likewise, Darren Brown believes that in order to make friends and influence people, the single most important thing you should do is just be a nice person, do nice things, speak to people, and they will want to spend time with you. There's no secret trick to it. But that niceness needs to be backed up with confidence. To demonstrate how this might work, let's look at what would be a much more successful pickup strategy for making yourself more attractive and magnetic. Note that a similar technique can work just as well for women, and that we're going to see how this applies to business as well in a moment. So instead of peacocking and negging, instead, head to a bar and just smile at someone you like the looks of. This is already a smart strategy, as if that person is at all interested, they will normally smile back. If they look away, you know to look elsewhere. If that person then smiles at you and seems to be interested, you head over, but you don't corner them as normal. Instead, you chat to them and ask their name and then introduce yourself to the rest of the group. This instantly sets you apart as highly social, very nice and very confident. You've demonstrated the ability to get on with her friends and that you are a hit with them. You can still be teasing and edgy if that's your thing, but the key is just to be good fun and to speak to everyone, not just the person you originally went over to see. This makes you seem thoughtful and considerate, and suddenly you don't seem motivated by just one thing. Furthermore, it will also now cause that first person to question whether you're really interested in them or in their friends, and this can bring out a competitive spirit between them. Having fun with everyone makes you seem in demand, and from a social standpoint and an evolutionary standpoint, that makes you highly more attractive. From here though, when the time is ready, you can ask the person you're interested in if they'd like a drink. If they say yes, you can ask them to the bar with you and make your move from there. Try this one, it is highly effective. So you're still being nice, you're just being highly confident and likable with it. You have all the coolness of the jerks, but you're someone who can get on with their friends and be introduced to the parents. That's really what women are looking for. The same goes for women. You don't have to be the nerdy librarian or the Barbie doll. If you exhibit brains and sweetness, but you also know how to dress and you're not afraid to be a bit flirtatious, then any guy would prefer that combination. The clothes here are not just about showing off your best assets, but also about showing off your confidence, your willingness to put yourself out there. When a girl wears a short skirt, all the guys in that bar know that all the other guys are looking at her, and that makes her hugely more appealing. But there's a fine line to walk here between being sexy and being desperate, and desperate is the polar opposite of attractive. But notice how this all comes down to subtle psychological factors that probably remain unconscious for most of us. It's about trying to get the best possible mate that we can for the sake of our children. Of course, love happens on top of that, but to begin with, that initial attractive has a lot to do with confidence and how you carry yourself. Taking it to the world of business. Okay, so how would we apply this to the world of business? Simple, we need to once again demonstrate confidence and the ability to be a go-getter, but to combine that with being the kind of person people want to work with and being the kind of person that seems to have the necessary skills and abilities. If you find yourself at a networking event of any sort, then you need to be able to show off your best skills, but you should also come across as fun, confident and charismatic. The thing to avoid here is any attempt to show off your skills. When trying to impress anyone, the worst thing you can do is to list or force into conversation facts to try and make yourself look good. Why? Because this suggests that you're trying to impress the person you're talking to. But as we've seen, if you're trying to impress them, that suggests you have a lot more to gain from a connection with them than they do with a connection with you. Instead, you should develop yourself and make your own accomplishments to the point where you feel comfortable speaking to a top CTO as equals. What you'll find is that you usually don't need to explicitly mention your skills and achievements for them to become apparent during conversation, and they will seem much more impressive if they come out that way, or if someone else should drop them into conversation for you. In the meantime, you be social and outgoing, offer to buy them a drink, talk to them as equals and send the signals that you are just as interesting to them as vice versa. Charisma and sharpness. What is particularly important from a business perspective is charisma and sharpness. Once you do start talking about the things you want to be known for, it's crucial that you show your best side and that you speak eloquently and in an impressive manner. And there is just one thing you need in order for this to happen: passion. Passion is what gives us charisma, and that in turn is what reels people in and makes them want to listen. It's also what will come across when you speak and what will make you seem particularly capable and particularly well informed. In one study, it was found that people who gesticulated more than others were rated as being more charismatic. This unusual finding was explained as being due to the fact that it created a congruence between what they were saying and what their body was doing. Remember that 70% or more of communication is nonverbal, so if you are talking about how important this new venture is for you and your hands are in your pocket, then it sends mixed signals. When you are truly passionate about something, you move around the space, you wave your arms and you reel off huge amounts of information. All of this makes you more engaging and more interesting to listen to, and at the same time, it makes you come across as hugely more capable and hugely more attractive. Passion also makes a big difference when it comes to physical attraction. A lot of people say that they find someone with a passion or a hobby more attractive. That's simply because it makes them come alive more. So if you want to be more impressive, then find something you're truly passionate about and make sure you follow that path, because if you're in an industry that doesn't excite you, then that will come across when you talk and you won't fool anyone. The other thing about passion is that it helps you to believe in yourself. Remember, you want to sell the idea that you are highly desirable to work with, associate with. That means you can't be unconfident or a shrinking wallflower. The problem is that a lot of us worry far too much about what other people are going to think, and that's what causes us to keep our hands down. But did you know that most managers would find you more impressive if you gave lots of bad ideas than if you didn't say anything at all? To gain confidence, you need to stop judging yourself by the opinions of others and instead start judging yourself on your own terms. If you think it was a good idea, if you feel it's something you're passionate about, then it doesn't matter what the reaction was. In the full ebook, we discuss how you can completely destroy social anxiety and other worry that is holding you back. In doing so, we discover how to become socially bulletproof and to get whatever you want out of life. One more thing, note the power of going big. If you want to feel passionate about an idea or a movement, then being ambitious is often a good thing. Elon Musk speaks to how SpaceX was partly such a success because it was such a huge project. That's the kind of thing people can get behind and it becomes bigger than one person. If you can find that kind of project that you feel passionate for, then you'll be amazed at the offers that come in. Creating the look. So, whether it's in business, in relationships or in any other part of life, being a friendly, kind, confident and charismatic individual can help you to go a long way. It's a rare combination to find someone who is completely unafraid to be themselves, but is also completely nice and down to earth at the same time. That's simply because it's so rare to find anyone that confident, and so it's often people who are a little detached that manage it. If you can become so confident that you can be completely at ease, then you'll have the world eating out of your hands. But to complete the picture, you should also consider the way you look, because remember, we're trying to send signals of success and of desirability here, and a lot of that is physical. If you can appear to be someone who is healthy, then that suggests that you take care of yourself, thus meaning you value yourself highly. It suggests that you are healthy, thus meaning you are good genetic stock, and it suggests that you have your act up together, and thus could be capable of accomplishing more. If you are treating your mind and body badly in a job you don't care about, then that is making you unattractive. Lack of sleep makes us highly unattractive and causes bags under the eyes, puffiness caused by dehydration, along with bloodshot eyes and thin veins. Stress has a similar effect, suppressing many crucial healthy processes, not to mention also impairing sleep. The same goes for not getting enough sun or the right nutrition. Getting some exercise is also very important, and especially exercise that will tone muscle to make you look more powerful and thus more capable of executing on your plans. You need to think about the way you dress too, and remember what we said about how this demonstrates the fact that you value yourself. Dressing for the job you want really is good advice, as is dressing for the partner you want. Try to approach this all as a single holistic change. Build your own health and your own appearance, and it will also just help you to feel more accomplished and confident. When you walk into a room and you know you're physically the most capable, you turn heads and impress people, but you also feel much more powerful and on top of your game yourself. Do all these things and you will become more likable, more impressive and all round more attractive, and you'll be amazed